Hello, good morning to you, Kelvin.
Yeah, good morning, Helen.
How are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm great. You?
I'm doing fantastic. What's the weather like in Kumasi this morning?
Well, I think it's cooler than we have in Accra, so that's been the key.
I see.
Right?
You know, yesterday it actually rained in Accra in different portions at different times.
Yes, I was told that. But before then, Kumasi had also experienced rainfall I think, 3 days before this.
I
So
see.
I think we had our own share of what Kumasi enjoyed.
I see. It's a much cooler morning today. When do you return?
Hopefully by close of day I should be back.
Amazing stuff. Some catfishes awaiting your return.
For you.
Well, let's talk about the Black Stars' performance yesterday in that AFCON friendly with Namibia. Yesterday, I caught you a little bit on Ghana tonight, so I already know what to expect. But for our early risers who didn't catch the match, we know it was a goalless draw. But tell us about the performance of the Black Stars.
Well, I think it wasn't impressive. If I should sum it up in over 10, I would give them 4 over 10.
4 over 10.
Yeah, it was bad. It was terrible, hopeless performance, especially in the first half, where we couldn't even find the right balance between our midfield. Our defense was okay. They wanted to be very progressive from the defensive line, but our midfielders, the double pivot of that is Baba Idrisu and Elisha, who weren't able to penetrate the opponent's defensive and Ransford Yeboah Collins Delpha made and his first start for Ghana ever since agreeing to play for the Black Stars. He showed glimpses of his skill set, but how to impose it in a game against the opponents was also problematic. Joseph Painter, with all his brilliance at games, was expected to even take these Namibians by storm. This is not a side who come with a lot of, good pedigree when it comes to the African football, but we're not seeing that from the Black Stars. The only brighter spot in the first half was Jordan Ayew, who was doing too much because there wasn't any creativity. He wasn't even picking any passes from midfield and defense. So the only point that he had to come was move away from the left wing and then draw into central attacking midfield to try create goal-scoring opportunities. Iñaki Williams was often isolated. He made the runs, but the passes were not being fed to him, all because there wasn't any creative spark in front, in the middle of the pitch to give the pass. So our transitions were poor. Our expansive play weren't seeing anything. So for the ordinary fan who would want to see a team that can be dominant and a pattern of play, specific pattern of play, the way that Chris Hughton wants to play, an identity for the team. We did not see that in the first half. And some changes were rigged in the second half. Iñaki Williams had to be substituted. Mediana S.C. Jonathan Toa came on. Ashmeru Majid came on. Andrea Ayew came on. Ernest Niyama came on. Salisu came on to replace Daniel Amati and played with Jiku. And Osman Bukhari also came on to replace Joseph Painter. That was where we saw the team trying to, create some very good lanes of passing, try to break down the opponents, the passing channels open up. And Jonathan Sowa, for me, was much more energetic than Iñaki Williams, because, Iñaki is now recovering from a viral infection that kept him in Spain before joining the Black Stars. So you could understand that slow start. But I think even with that, the service to him was poor. But for Jonathan Zowa, once he was on, the service to him was good, and he thrives on, the strength of his upper body, won some 2 duels, and he had a great opportunity to score, only for Namibia to bring him down just behind the penalty area, and then a free kick was perfectly dispatched by Jordan Ayew, which the goalkeeper saved. The second half was much more impressive than we saw in the first half. But unfortunately, we couldn't, hit the target. We hit the crossbar, we hit the goalpost, and Namibia's goalkeeper made a couple of saves. But all in all, I don't think that it was enough from the Black Stars on the day, especially against Namibia, that many thought we were just going to thrash them. Yes,
that's right.
We have some brighter spots in Petro Shitembe, who had been on Ghanaian soil playing for Ashanti Gold during his heydays, very excellent midfielder. And then Mamelodi Sundowns top striker, who is the captain of Namibia, Peter Shalulile, very good forward player, lanky, but he gives you a lot of trouble. And, he gave our defense some very patchy moments inside the game, but at least we were able to contain him. But I think Chris Hughton and his technical team have a lot more to do if we want to really go and make an impact at this Nations Cup. Unless they have something up their sleeves, we don't know.
Right. What was the crowd's reception before and after the match?
Well, before the game, it was great. As at 7:15, I was thinking, hey, are we going to have an empty stadium? Because it was free entry for everyone, But later on, they started coming in their numbers. Maybe the time of the game did not really suit many because they would have to resume work this morning. But I think it was impressive. The numbers came impressive. And the support was massive, especially when they came on for the warm-up,
Right.
Because, of course, Richmond Lamptey is having his first ever Black Stars call-up. So when they came on for the warm-up, the fans were cheering. And you could definitely know that it was just fans of Asante Kotoko who were present at the stadium waiting to see their linchpin making an appearance for the Black Stars, that he couldn't make any part of the game. Jordan Ayew got some, very good cheers. Andrea, you got some good cheers. Daniela Mate, Iñaki Williams. So you could see that the fans, yes, many would say that the fans are not optimistic, but when it comes to the love for some individuals, collectively, I think that the fans want this team to do well and make an impact. Hopefully that 41-year curse would be dealt with. After the game, the fans weren't happy with the results.
How did they register their displeasure? I'm hearing that there was some boos in the crowd.
Yes, they started booing the team, after the game. But after when they were started doing the lap of honor, trying to appreciate the fans who turned out at the game, there were cheers as well. So I think, the fans clearly understood what they had to do. Boo them for the performance, but cheer them on that this is the final day that they are seeing them before they move into Cote d'Ivoire for the AFCON, which begins on Saturday, and Ghana playing on Sunday. So they just applauded the team, cheered them on. But after the game, some fans registered their displeasure. They think that it's about coaching, it's not the players, and the coach having all these players performing at top levels in Europe should be giving us something better from what we have, other than the poor display that we've been seeing from the team. So I think, yes, the fans are measured in their expectations, not expecting too much, but if it comes positive, the Black Stars win games or get the best results to progress from the group stages.
I see.
They'll be proud and they'll celebrate.
Now, on Sunday, 14th January, we face off against Cape Verde. What do you think our chances are looking like, especially based off what you saw yesterday? You make mention of Chris Hughton's system or tactics. What do you think needs to be tightened up ahead of Sunday?
Well, Helen, I think, we should expect that the dynamics will change on Sunday because Chris Hughton is definitely going to have Kudus at his disposal. He's going to have Antoine Semenyo, who didn't play yesterday. Saleh Samed is also going to be part of the team. And I'm sure he would have the right balance that he needs on Sunday. But what he needs to do, in case these players are still not available by virtue of injury or, illness or something, it means he would have to do with the materials available, which means that, yes, how we played against Namibia should change, especially our defensemen got a bit jittery, passing building up from behind became a bit problematic. In the second half, we started ballooning the ball instead of trying to build up from the defensive end. I think it should change. Chris Hughton should not play as two defensive midfielders of the same profile because no one seems to progress the ball. They are all destructive players in Elisha Owusu and then Abdul Baba Idrisu. So all he needs to do is to get us one creative spark. It's either Richmond Lamptey or Ashmeri Majid to give us that creative spark. And for up front, there should be that connective piece between the midfield and the attack, the linkman. And that is where I'm sure Kudus Mohammed will find himself probably on Sunday if he's fit and ready for that particular game. I think Jordan Ayew, he has no problem at all. And our attack, for the few chances that we created, we couldn't score. And I think it's too minimal for a team who wants to win a championship. You win games only by scoring goals. And I think that the goal scoring ability of our players should improve. Their finishing was top 4 yesterday. And if Chris Hughton has anything to work on, I think maybe practice more shooting lessons or at their training session. They should prioritize their shooting practice more and then get us some very good shots on goal, which could probably, you never know, your goalkeeper could just mess or fluff with an effort and then you'd be able to get a goal once it's on target. So I think these are the critical areas that his team needs to get better, starting from defense, transitions, and then creating goal-scoring opportunities and finishing them off as well. Because if you get a team and you are not playing well in the first half, like his Houston team has always done in the matches that we've seen under his tenure, it means that if a team hits you so hard in the first half, how are you going to recover and come back in the second half, knowing that your team is not even able to score more than 2 or 3 goals per game?
Now, of course, tongues have been wagging on social media. I'll read a few comments as we stick with the Black Stars. This one from @Delalom says, maybe the best thing to happen to the Black Stars is an early exit from AFCON. He also says the ending of Chris Hughton's contract and a rebuild before the next phase of World Cup qualifiers. We need Otto Addo back. Is that something that you've heard, that people want Otto Addo back, or they want a shake-up in the management and coaching of the Black Stars?
Definitely, they are not happy with Chris Hughton and Mini. I think if about 70% of Ghanaians would want a change in the technical head of the Black Stars, but not the mention of Otto Addo. But something needs to change, because Chris Hughton hasn't inspired that confidence with the way his team has been set up and they play. Probably we have to maybe exit from the AFCON early. We may not exit from the AFCON early, but I think after the Nations Cup, there should be a critical look at the Chris Hughton and whether he should continue leading us to the next AFCON qualifiers and the World Cup qualifiers, or we bring in another technical head who can give us something extra. I don't think it's so difficult for someone who was with the team in 2022 to be giving us subpar performances in 2024 when majority of these players or the squad hasn't changed much. When he took over, there was Wolacott, there was Atidi, there was Richard Ofori, there was Amati, there was Jiku, Salisu came under his tenure, Gideon Mensah was present, Denis Odoi was present, Salih Sabed was part of the team. There was still Andrea Ayew, Jordan Ayew, Sebejo came part of the team. Iñaki joined the team when he was technical head for the 2022 World Cup. All these players are there, so just a few have joined the team under his tenure, and I don't think it should be too difficult for him to have a game plan or a pattern of play that will see to the team and give us that confidence as Ghana. Our identity has always been, give us pump and pageantry and good goals, and we'll be good to go. But if fans are not saying that, definitely they have every cause for alarm. And even if you are very strong defensively, you should give us moments of brilliance, which the team seems to be lacking. So I think yes, fans are right if they call for an improvement or a change, but as it stands now, we cannot change the coach, or there won't be a change. We are going to the AFCON with Chris Hughton, and I think he needs to work on himself. Yesterday, at the post-match presser, he admitted that it's his responsibility to get to the team playing better. So we just wait and see what happens on Sunday. Just like I said, maybe with the 3 players who are missing and some of the players we expect to start who did not start, things could probably change and the team may have something up their sleeve. Remember, initially, they didn't even want fans at the stadium for this game.
In fact, and also, Chris Hughton didn't want the match to be televised.
No, it wasn't televised. But
right.
Some people managed to get themselves in the stands and then stream the game for some Ghanaians to have snippets of it to watch. All because he thinks that yes, he's exposing his tactics. But I always say it. Pep Guardiola has been playing for how many years now? His training is always, watched by the media. His matches are watched, but he still manages to dominate his opponents.
That's right.
If you are good, you are good. You don't need to hide what you are going to do for others to just work against you. Fine, the scouts may exist, but we've seen Cote d'Ivoire play their friendly matches. We've watched the games, we've watched the highlights. We've seen Mali play, we've seen Morocco play, we've seen Algeria play, we've seen their highlights. So why are you hiding yours? If you're hiding this, then you should give us something better. Because out of this game, the fact that the stadium even tell you that, come on, this is not impressive. So how much more technical people who may have snippets or even have some of these reports? I think it's just too shambolic performance and a lame excuse for not being in the match live for the entire nation. It was hidden yesterday.
Right.
It's going to be revealed on Sunday.
And it's all to watch on Sunday as Ghana faces off against Cape Verde in the AFCON game, Sunday the 14th of January. Well, Kelvin will be back in time to give us all we need ahead of AFCON. Kelvin, safe travels back to Accra.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Thank you so much. And that was Kelvin Owusu Ansah. He was at the Babayara Stadium and he saw the match in action. Not a very impressive performance by the Black Stars, and a number of you are weighing in on that on social media. Reminder also that we've got a poll up and we're getting your views on some of the very important and pressing issues of the day. So do check us out on the socials. The hashtag we're using this morning is hashtag 3FM Sunrise. But DJ Abiam is here treating us to some great tunes this morning as we settle into the morning. Don't go anywhere. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.